I guess I decided to sit my ass down and rank almost every 3D Sonic render, because I make good decisions concerning time management, and I'm smart. You've probably seen debates here and there, which I'm getting pretty tired of, about, oh, Sonic team, or well, the art team behind making the Sonic renders for games and promotional art and stuff like that, they're losing their touch. Their new renders are so sauceless, they're not goated, they're not peak, they're other slang words insert here. Yeah, and clearly the older renders sweep the new ones. The new renders just are such downgrades over and over and over as they progressively get more basic and less detailed. But is any of that really the case? Well, I guess I'm about to find out as I look at renders from all across the series, from Adventure to Frontiers, all throughout 20 years of Sonic history. So, you might not believe it, but I actually have, a whopping, and you're gonna love this, 69 renders.
Oh my god, bro.
I'm hilarious. But we do have a wide array of renders from all across the franchise, from old to new. I tried picking out at least 3 renders from every mainline 3D Sonic game. We also have some spin-offs, and of course, some promotional stock art, because who doesn't love that? But of course, we have to rename our tiers first. That's the most important part of the job. This is the hard... What? This is the hard work and dedication that I need to put into this, which, as you can see, I put in that hard work to make almost all of the PNGs transparent, but then I got lazy for some of them and just used the snippet tool. So, yeah, I'm putting in that hard work for YouTube. S tier will be... Oh my god, my mic is in the way of my keyboard. I wanna bathe in that sauce. That sauce. That Raising Cane sauce. That sounds really bad. Oh, why did I name it that? Oh my god. Don't worry, guys, don't worry. I'm listening to your active feedback right now, and I'll change it. I'll change it to be something better. That saucy goodness. Now it's infinitely better. A tier, you telling me a Sonic fried this rice? What does this mean in terms of B tier? I don't know, I just thought it would be funny. It's not, but B tier, didn't know what you were chill. There's 2 C's in chill, by the way, I made it up now. Chill like that. C tier will be, so we're starting to downgrade a bit, so like, he got some crustiness. He got some crustiness. Ew. And then D tier, what is a brilliant intellectual being such as myself? What kind of what I'm never escaping the allegations that I'm actually just a dumbass, dude. Oh my god. D for dumbass. Okay, let's get this started with, of course, Sonic Adventure, the Sonic Adventure renders, which, dare I say, Sonic Adventure renders are, like, iconic. Like, you can't not look at Sonic Adventure renders and not feel the style, not feel the coolness, not feel the aura. Especially this pose. I don't know why, I can never explain it, but this pose specifically for Adventure 1 Sonic, I kind of love it. He's literally flexing. No, like, he's actually flexing. Like, and I feel it. I feel the flex. I feel the flex, and it's honestly working for me. I'm running into the same problem that I ran into when I did my April Fool's girth Sonic tier list, and I'm just not a talkative person. I don't know what to say. If I'm being honest, the Adventure era Sonic, they do know I can't talk! Oh my god! They do look like they know how to make some good fried rice. So I guess that's what I'm basing it off. No, but in all seriousness though, I love these poses. These poses, even though I didn't grow up with the adventure games until like when I was, I think, 14 or 13, these renders, I saw them all the time, and these always looked so cool to me. Like, both of these renders, especially this one, were like, it's like kind of a render based off of that one scene in the CG opening where Sonic is like doing that, he's all stanced up, he's like reaching out his hand to Chaos, like, yo, I'm here. I feel like I should rename my tier list, because this actually makes no sense out of all of these. Like, marry me. Can I be normal for once? No, like genuinely. Can I actually like be normal and make like a normal tier list? I'll bring it to beautiful in quotation marks because in Sonic Unleashed, Sonic's like beautiful. Now this, I assume I actually rarely see this render. I don't know about you, but it looks badass. Not gonna lie, it looks so cool. Again, so stylized. So like, if I'm being honest, when I look at this, I do think it looks better than the original adventure renders. And I don't even know how to explain it. So I guess that's the best part of me making a tier list. I don't know how to explain things. So cool. I just can't get over the art direction for it. I do like the extra shading and expressionness on the Adventure DX, but I don't know. There's just something about. I don't know if I'll put it in bathe in the saucy goodness because I don't know if I want to bathe in Adventure Sonic, but that sounds really weird. But I think I'll put it above. So I'll put this one above this Adventure DX render, but I'm gonna put this other one below it. Controversial, I know. Hear me out. I mean, these two basically look the exact same, but I'm kind of getting at the point. I'm trying to say that like the Adventure and then the Adventure DX renders are kind of on equal grounds. I can kind of mix match like which one I like more than the other. They're pretty much neck and neck, the same exact ones. And Adventure 2, I could barely find renders for Adventure 2. There's this render where Sonic's doing the little thumbs up. He's going like, yeah! I like this one a lot. Again, I don't know if it's going to be in saucy goodness as yet, but I do like the pose. I obviously love that they actually made renders with the soap shoes. It's not only the 2D artwork with the soap shoes, but at the same time, how many renders and artworks of Adventure Sonic have him just like with the cheeky smile? I don't know why, but the colors look a little bit like not washed out. It's like ever so slightly desaturated colors. I don't know what it is, especially with this other render I found of Adventure 2 Sonic holding up the GameCube and Game Boy Advance, which if you know, you know. I can only see this with Sonic holding up McDonald's McNuggets, so like but this one has the same shade of blue as the other adventure ones. I'm actually gonna put this one above this one. I know I said how much I liked this render because of it's basically a render of the still of Sonic doing his stance towards perfect chaos, but like I don't know. I still like this one, but it's clearly to me the least favorite out of the adventure group of renders. Sonic, who whitewashed you, and how do I bring you back? Here we get into something that means a lot to me. The Sonic Heroes renders, because I did grow up with Heroes. I got a game. What? I was about to say I bought a GameStop. No, I did not do that. I went into GameStop like as a kid and saw a PS2 copy of Heroes that whatchamacallit, it was like a resale copy, like someone traded it in and then they just had it there as a already used copy of Heroes. And hold on, I have it right here. It's really bad. The box is busted up, and oh my god, it actually broke a little bit. Hero Sonic is one of my favorite Sonics, like in terms of his model and the renders. And obviously, I'm not looking at the 3D models in the actual game for this tier list. It's only like the promotional 3D artwork renders. Specifically, I obviously couldn't get every single render off of the internet because that would take forever. But I'm pretty sure someone else has a different tier list of the 3D models itself, like ripped from all the games. But the Sonic Heroes design is kind of a perfect Sonic design to me, if I'm being honest. Like, it's a perfect blend of the modern Sonic we know right now and the Adventure Sonic. Also Heroes, not Heroes, also Secret Rings, the Secret Rings model as well. Some of you might notice comparison, but Hero Sonic kind of looks like Nendoroid Sonic. You know what I'm talking about, the little Nendoroid? I have one. I literally don't know why, I just kind of love it over the others. I do want to bathe in Heroes. Renders specifically, not the actual game, because it kind of frustrates me sometimes. Also, is this a Heroes render? Because I've really never seen it. I only saw this render when I was looking up renders for Sonic Heroes, so it does kind of look like his model, kind of look like his running animation. Do I want to bathe in this render? Well, actually, first of all, no, I can't because I didn't transparent the PNG, so sorry. So you're just going into beautiful. I literally not having the transparent PNG took it down a whole tier. That's messed up. Conversely, though, the regular Heroes render of like Sonic doing the Mario jump, that's how I always looked at it, as like a kind of a Mario jump. Except he has like the three fingers up, the iconic three fingers, which I always love. But I just kind of love Heroes renders, not gonna lie. I just kind of love Heroes renders. Sonic's like reaching out, ready to grab, and I think I actually changed my opinion. This render of Sonic is specifically, oh my god, it was like the in-between phase. It's the in-between phase of like Heroes Adventure style, and then like 06 Secret Rings, something like that. And I think this was only used for, what is it, Sega Superstars on the iToy. Why does this kill? Like, why does this rock so hard that it looks beautiful? Like, I love, like, it looks like just like a more refined HD Heroes render, like slash design, and I kind of like it. I kind of like it. The blue, the shade of blue is a little bit off to me now that I'm looking at this shade of blue compared to every other Dreamcast Sonic shade of blue. But regardless, I love the proportions, love the expression. I kind of fuck with it, not gonna lie. Is this also from Sega Superstars? I don't know actually. I labeled this in my folder of renders as the unknown _ Sonic, I guess dash removed PNG, whatever. So I guess to me it's an unknown render. Maybe one of you guys know where it's from, but it again just looks like a slightly higher quality version of the Heroes render. It actually does look like this Superstars render, but with the proper shade of blue that I'm looking for. So we've gotten just a bunch of bangers all throughout the Dreamcast era. Just constant, beautiful, saucy, lit? No, we don't say that anymore. And here's where I might get a little bit controversial. I don't like the 06 renders, or 06 models in general.
I hate this channel.
Sorry. First of all, I was never really a fan of the front-facing view of this render. I know some people kind of... I was making the joke about it before, but some people do make the joke about Sonic reaching out with his hand like that. But with the 06 style of proportions and the absurdly long quills, it doesn't really work too well for me. The other 06 renders, I do kind of like a bit more. I think he still ultimately has a little bit of crustiness on him. Like, at least look at this. Like, look at 06 Sonic, and you can tell he's got a little bit of crustiness. I don't think he washes behind his quills. Like, no, this is actually a fact. No, this is actually a fact. His quills are too long in this game. He definitely doesn't wash behind the head. He definitely does not wash behind. I am factoring in how well Sonic takes a shower. He doesn't. But this one, ultimately, I do like where Sonic's in his running pose. That's on the box art for 06. I ultimately do like this one a little bit more. I didn't know he was chill like that. I didn't know. But now we get into Secret Rings territory, and I kind of fuck with all of it. I kind of fuck with the entire, how much more do I like it than some of the Dreamcast Sonic renders? I think I like it more than this one. This is starting to get tough. But for this render, why do I like it slightly more? No, like genuinely, why do I like it slightly more? And why can't I find the words to explain it? I can't find the mouth. I can't find the mouth words. I think I like it more than the original adventure artwork. It's only barely being beaten out by Heroes renders, but I actually like Secret Rings renders a lot, actually. Though, admittedly, this isn't all for nothing, since I am about to play every Sonic game for a big video project coming up that is taking me very long to complete, which you'll see in hopefully the coming months. For this render of Secret Rings Sonic, I think I'm actually going to put it below this render of the 06 Sonic running. I mean, this one's also running, but I'll put it above only because I do like the pose. it is being obtruded by the logo. I do like a Secret Ring Sonic more than 06 Sonic, so I guess I'll keep on shitting on 06 Sonic. Sorry, 06 fans. It's okay. I'll give your game justice one day. But now, for a game that I really, really like, Unleashed renders. I used to use these all the time in like just like doing basic Photoshop thumbnails back in like my old days on my channel, and I love all of the Unleashed renders. I probably should have picked out a couple more, but they're also iconic to me. They're also iconic to me from the Unleashed box art and like the back of the box, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, Unleash is going straight to the top. Unleash is going straight to the top. All of them, actually. No, I'm thinking more about it. All of them. This one I do like the most out of all of them, and it does deserve my personal top spot. Like, I unironically find myself hitting that pose just like when I'm chilling, when I'm just standing, when I'm just stanced up and when I'm just I love that they have renders of Sonic like in the middle of one of his moves, in the middle of doing a drift. I love that. The design of Sonic in Unleashed is just one of my favorites. One of my favorites in the entire series, and it's gonna be hard to beat this. I know it's gonna be hard to beat this. I love Unleashed renders. That being said though, Black Knight Sonic cooks. Black Knight Sonic looks so damn cool. I think the Black Knight renders will barely beat out Heroes renders. Oh my god, mid-2000s Sonic renders were so cool. Damn, dude. You can't not look at the promotional box art for Black Knight and tell me that doesn't look cool. Like Sonic with his quills like slightly to the side, like as if wind just hit it, because you know, Night of the Wind. I just love it. I just love the pose. I love the model that they used for this render. I'm finding myself repeating the same things over and over again, and it's honestly starting to get to me a little bit, and we still have a lot left to go. I don't remember how the reception was back then to seeing Sonic with a sword and Sonic with a gauntlet, like being a fan of Sonic through the early 2000s, and then still being a fan now. Like, you learn to appreciate this stylized coolness. Like, you can't help but love how stylized it is. You legally have to like it. That being said though, next on the list is colors, and for some people this might be where things get a bit iffy. First of all, the iconic front of the box art with Sonic using the cyan wisp, and he's just like plowing through. To me, this might be a bit of biases, because you know, I did grow up with colors a lot, and so I might be biased, but I really do like the render. If I'm being honest, I really do like it. So the thing is, regardless where I put it, it's gonna be controversial, and it's gonna make at least one person upset regardless where I put it on this list somewhere. So I'm gonna stay true to myself and what I'm feeling right now, and you're not gonna like me. I'm putting it right above this Adventure 2 render, but not above the Stanced Up Adventure 1 render. Where did it go? I just realized I moved it down here. I was like, wait, huh? However, as for the next set of promotional Sonic Colors renders, I'm not too sure if I feel the same about them. Can I talk? I'm pretty sure you can kind of tell that we're starting to get into the realm of like, these are some of the renders that they kind of reuse on like some of their social media posts and stuff like that. And as for the render itself, I do generally like it, but it's obviously not as stylized as these top goats over here. The render itself is still pretty clean. It does look like Sonic's about to assault me. Like he's like literally about to pounce on me, or maybe step on me, which some of you guys might be into. No, I'm not, but it doesn't want me to move it. It does not want me to, okay. I thought it was a force of the universe telling me like, no, please Nick, don't be that controversial. This render of Color Sonic in his running stance is okay. There's a bunch of renders, of Sonic running with his arms behind his back, which I of course love, the behind the back arm run, but just comparing it to the Unleashed running render over here, this one just lacks a little bit of style compared to this one, like in the expression and a little bit of like the shading on the render. In my personal opinion, I think I will keep it below 06 running Sonic. With that being said though, they did make a brand new render for Colors Ultimate, And this one actually looks pretty juicy. Wait, ew. Let me run that back. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I don't know why the quill is like pretty long here, but it's pretty stylized. Like the expression, like the shading on it. And I think I'll put it right. Why is my mouse like acting weird? I'm making a tier list with images. Why is it lagging? How is it doing that? I'm just gonna put it under the original colors render just because I'm a little biased. If that didn't come out as yet. Now next is a Sonic Generations modern Sonic renders. And these are all pretty solid in my opinion. Again, you can probably see even with as we're coming up on the Lost World renders as well, you can kind of see that they all kind of look the same. I don't know how to describe it. I feel like you might understand what I'm trying to say, even though I can't word it. They just all look these 6 of them all look just like, I don't know if generic is the right word. It might be the right word, but they're not bad renders. At least to me, they're not bad renders, but they just kind of aren't overly stylized in terms of its shading and stuff like that, and the expressions and maybe the eyebrows and stuff like that. You know, something like that. That's what I'm trying to say. That being said, though, again, I don't think the Generations or Lost World renders are bad, but we're specifically talking about the Generations renders, and the 3 of them that I have here are pretty solid. This is the one that they've used in so much like Sonic social media posts and stuff like that, and like artwork for collaborations and stuff like that. And to their credit, it is a fairly good running render of Sonic. Do I have the moral to put it above any of the Dreamcast Sonic renders? I don't know if I can necessarily allow myself to do that. I'm gonna do it anyway. I know. I'm putting myself out there into the world, chaining me up, lock me up. As for this Sonic render, I feel like this was used for Generations 3DS, dare I say, right? Maybe? I might be misremembering, but I don't think it looks that bad. I like the pose. I like the, you know, always seeing like Sonic's little finger just like poking out, but like not like fully extended, but like half extended, if that makes sense. I'm talking about fingers. I might just put it next to it, if I'm being honest. Now, as for the classic finger wag pose, this might be the first modern Sonic render. Might have a little bit of crustiness to it. Still better than 06. Oh no, I shouldn't say that. Moving on to Lost World renders now. First of all, I can't see this render anymore without like thinking of MatPat. I really don't know what he was doing there. When Lost World came out, and I guess the mid 2010s memes for Sonic, this one was used a lot for like Photoshop and stuff like that. But I don't really care too much about what I associate this render with. Like I'm able to detach myself from it, and looking at it by itself, it's fine. I don't like it enough to like put it any higher than where it is right now. This render is one that I forget exists. I've definitely seen it around the space a couple times for Sonic renders in the mid 2000s, and I think when Lost World came out, but I honestly forget that this is a render. What is Sonic doing exactly in this render? Like, is that the closest Sonic render to like an ass shot? Because like, if that's the case, then no, I don't want that. But if it's not the case, then I actually think the pose itself is pretty good. I'm gonna put it under Adventure 2 render over here, because I do like the pose. The model itself for the render, though, is just starting to like become the same. As for this render, though, of Sonic like actively parkouring, I do like it, and there's a little bit of shading on the render here. I think it's one of the core renders for Lost World. I'll put it right above Adventure 2. So I'm sorry to this Adventure 2 render, it's just continuously going down and down. Now we are coming up to my favorite design in the franchise, Sonic Boom. Yay. Everything regarding Sonic Boom, forget that for a second. My past self used to hate Boom Sonic with a passion, used to hate the designs and how it looked, even though it's not too outlandishly different from Sonic nowadays, especially when the first initial movie Sonic design got showcased, and then people were like, oh, you better apologize to Boom Sonic, and you know, I didn't, but but generally, I would like to say I have had a little bit of character growth between my past growing up self and now, because Boom Sonic's design is what it is. It's In some cases, it does not look bad. In some cases, it does. It's okay. Sonic crossing his arms. I mean, it looks Sonic crossing his arms here somehow is proportioned like more better than like some other characters crossing their arms. But I don't like Boom Sonic, so there's a little bit of bias against him. You know what? I'm gonna put a little bit of my bias aside. Yeah, shocker. I know. And I'm actually going to, despite all odds, put Boom Sonic, or at least this render of Boom Sonic. I think he's chill. I think he's chill. I think he's chill. He's going above this Lost World render. This render of Boom Sonic, I actually kind of like a lot, if I'm being honest. It's the main render of Boom Sonic on Rise of Lyrics box art, and I couldn't tell you what it is. Again, this is kind of a front-facing Sonic, and it actually looks nice to me. The pose isn't really all that dynamic and whatnot. He's like holding out his enter beam towards the front of the box art, but I don't know. I like the expression. I like the proportions a little bit like better here compared to when he just like stands up like a twig. And I kind of like the shade of blue, if I'm being honest, even though it's a little bit cyan-ish. Now, on the opposite side of the spectrum, this artwork for this render of Sonic Boom, I still don't like it. I don't know what to tell you. I like it. Oh my god. Again, like how I said, I don't think it's as bad as my past self made out to be all those years ago, but I can't like trick myself into liking it. I've still had growth accepting Boom Sonic for what Boom Sonic is, but like it doesn't change that I don't really like this 3D render of it that much. It showcases his big ass forehead like way more than the other renders. You know how 06 Sonic isn't able to wash behind his spines? This render of Boom Sonic, he's never taken a shower. He's literally never taken a shower. Before we move on to Forces, we have a quick detour. I don't know why I put it in the middle of all the main 3D Sonic games, but All Stars Racing, for some reason. So you've probably seen this render from All Stars Racing many places. It is one of the notorious stock art images for Sonic, and being a stock art image, it's alright. I mean, it's alright. I just realized that's what I sound like. Oh my god. I would say he looks kind of chill. I would say that there's more blander stock art. But for this one, I would say yeah. I was about to say it again. Oh my god. As for when Sonic's leaning on the car, I just like the pose. I like the pose, and I don't know if it's enough to bump it up a full render, but I just really like Sonic's crisscross legs on that and his arm leaning on the wheel. I guess kind of like that one Metal Mario pose, except it actually looks nice and is not overly reused. Alright, Sonic Forces. So this one is one that I never saw for like until like 1 or 2 years ago. Like I thought I knew all of Forces like artwork and renders and stuff like that, but I think this is like a Japanese only like magazine render or something like that maybe. But I really like it actually. If I'm being completely honest with you, I really like the running render here. Ooh, how controversial do I want to be already? Yeah, it's going above Secret Rings. I like the pose. Sonic's hands here are pretty ginormous, but I like the composition of it. I like the shading on it, and it's such a rare pose. I like I said, I rarely saw it. I never saw it until like a year or 2 years ago. Actually, that's for all the Forces renders is what I'm remembering. He's like, grrr. This Forces render, on the other hand, for the most part, I like almost all Sonic renders. As for this Forces one, is it chill? Do you think it's chill like that? Let me know. Let's open up the floor for everyone to talk about. Okay, I have garnished your feedback. I've heard what you said. Forces going at the top. No, I'm kidding. It's just okay. I think I'm just gonna keep it at the tail end. Actually, yeah, you know what? I agree with you guys. It's pretty sauceless. Also, fun fact, did you know that render of Sonic with the fist out for Forces, it has like 3 versions of that render? Like there's like 2 beta versions of it that were in Forces Speed Battle. As for the main Forces render on the front of the box, it might just be me. Again, biases do exist. It might just be me. I actually like it to a good degree. It's gonna go right above this Lost World render. I don't know. I don't know why I like this Forces render so much. I mean, yeah, Sonic does look pissed for no reason. I mean, the arm placements are a little bit weird, maybe. I do like the boost effect behind him. I hear you guys. I'll move it down a couple. Now we have a mini break with the Team Sonic Racing render, and I actually like this one a lot. I know it's a modern Sonic version of the classic Sonic artwork of modern Sonic pulling on his glove, and obviously whenever characters pull on their glove like that, it's awesome. Like it looks stylish, it looks saucy and beautiful. All the way over here, yeah. It kind of, this render of Sonic, well, first of all, Sonic's a little shorter, but this render of Sonic is kind of like a modern Sonic HD version of an adventure pose. Like obviously not with an adventure model, but like a pose that Adventure Sonic would do. I mean, it's literally a pose that classic Sonic would do. Now we're at Frontiers, and yep, they cooked. Are you guys surprised? After I remember leading up to Frontiers, people were like, oh my god, sauceless renders left and right. And then when Frontiers' box art render dropped, or did it get leaked, or I actually don't remember if it was leaked or when it just got shown off, but people thought it was a fan-made render because it just looked too good to be an actual Sonic render in 2022. Yeah, all the Frontiers renders just look great. Has great detail on it. It has great lighting on it. It has great gradients on the shading for Sonic's fur. They're all going in my S tier, or like they're my saucy goodness tier. They might actually just go right underneath Unleashed Sonic. Unleashed Sonic is still my GOAT, but the Frontiers renders, they're really damn good. I love the Frontiers renders so much. And as a little bit of bias points, I catch myself doing the Frontier stance like an unhealthy amount. All right, with all the main games out of the way, well, technically, we are getting into spin-off territory. Rider Sonic is goated. Okay, yeah, Rider Sonic is pretty goated. The proportions always rub me a bit weird, but it's stylized. It's stylized super well. Obviously, we're not looking at the goated 2D artwork, but even the render matched the style pretty well right in between these generations renders, just because, you know, I felt like being unique. With that being said though, I always personally loved the box art Zero Gravity render. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Again, it's probably biased, but I just love the pose, love the lighting on it. I love the addition of the oh my god, what's the Zero Gravity bracelet called? Regardless if you're looking at Riders 1 or Zero Gravity, you're gonna be met with like some amazing character design, some saucy, juicy goodness. I mean, I basically said it. I basically said that it's saucy, juicy goodness. So like, yeah, put it up there. It deserves it. Free Riders though, yeah. Now I did get one render from Sonic 4, and it's also not pretty good. Congratulations to you, Sonic 4 running render. You got a lot of crustiness on you there. Just as crusty as the actual in-game model there. I said no, I'm kidding. Would I get a lot of flack if I say that I don't mind Sonic 4? I'm gonna shut up before the Horde comes after me. Now we have some Sonic at the Olympic Games renders, and this one's just cool. Like, this one's just cool. Sonic's just literally Tony Hawking it up right now. I just kind of wanted an excuse to put this render in the video, because how could you not like Sonic riding a skateboard? He's cool. Sonic's cool. I'm glad we can agree on this new discovery. Speaking of which, Sonic on a snowboard. He's pretty cool. And then there was this render from Rio 2016. If you're wondering what this little red part is there, Mario kind of got disembodied. This render of Sonic specifically, with his spine slicked back to the side, he's like butting heads with Mario. I'm gonna put it all the way above this Forces render, because like I just love it. I just love the expression. I love the pose. I think I might like Sonic. I think I just might like the Sonic franchise. Who would have thought? And I guess technically a mainline game, we have the Dream Team render. I'm a little indifferent on it. I didn't like it at first, the render, but then it grew on me. And I know a good amount of people like the render for Dream Team, or at least like the model for Dream Team. It does an okay job. I'm pretty sure people said that this render though has like the worst version of Sonic's lips, or like his mouth, which that's fair. And it's honestly gonna knock it down one more tier because of that, because of me just remembering that. Now we have Sonic with his racket playing tennis in Sega All-Stars Tennis. It's kind of sauceless, but I do have nostalgia for this era of Sonic renders, but it is kind of sauceless, so you know, it's staying right there. Why does he look like he's about to dance, actually? He looks like he's about to like do a little ballet dance. And surprise twist, we have the two Smash Bros. Sonic renders. I love the Ultimate render so so much. Like, how can you not love the ultimate render? And then they reference it in the Sonic movie. The ultimate render is just so nice. It's so nice. As for the Smash 4 render of Sonic just simply running, it's all right. It's okay. It's a pretty good running Sonic render, I would say, next to this Sonic running render as well, but it's not terrible. Now here is where you might remember some controversies. One of the biggest reasons why I'm making a render tier list to begin with is because of Sonic's birthday renders. This first render for 2022 Sonic birthday took the fandom by storm in not a good way. It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. It's very much them using the basic stock art model to make this render, and then Sonic's arm looks really weird. It looks like his arm was inflatable, and his mouth looks like he doesn't want to be there. Sonic, please blink twice if you're okay. On contrast to that though, this render for the 2023 birthday did a pretty good job at improving it, like, drastically. The expression is better, the model has slightly more design to it, has a better gradient on the shading again, and he doesn't look like he doesn't want to be there. He actually looks like he's kind of alive for once. But then, not too long ago, they gave us a 2024 birthday render, and this one's actually goated. This one's actually so goated. I'm gonna put it all the way above, like, over here. He's of course doing, again, the 3-finger pose, like the 3 knuckles pose, and I love the shade of blue here. I love it really does look like the model got increased again, like with better detail on it. Maybe they were listening. Maybe they're listening to the fans being like, "Aw, you got no sauce anymore on making renders," and like they basically said, "Shut up," and made a very saucy render. On the contrast, here's another render last year that was really controversial. The Fast Friends Forever render. I personally don't have a problem with it, but I can see why you might. Okay, and now I just kind of grabbed some random stock art that I found just of a quick Google search, so that's, you know, how much I'm trying. First is this render, which I have not seen too often, I guess. I mean, it's clearly a stock render because of how not too overly shaded and detailed it is, but because it is a stock render, I'm kind of like keeping it where it is. Actually, it's only going above Free Riders. Do you guys remember this render of Sonic entering 2022 and he's like jumping through the ring and doing a pose that certainly is a pose? Again, it's not bad. It's clearly stock renders, and you know, stock renders don't have the most detail into their shading and whatnot as the full-blown box art game renders, but because, like, you know, it's promotional art. It's promotional art for brands and the brand recognition for collaborations for other brands and whatnot, and, like, you know, I think also for like investors when looking at presentations and stuff like that. I think that's how businesses work. This is basically as corporate Sonic could look. It's gonna stay where it is, because yeah, this literally screams corporate Sonic renders. Basically, now this render, you've definitely seen it pop up on like the Sonic social media account or something like that. I really don't know how to comment on the stock art because it's literally stock art. It's literally corporate promotional art. Like what more can you talk about it? It literally looks the same as like this one or this one or this one. Like, in fact, this pose literally looks like Sonic is like about to hold a conference meeting. Like, what is Sonic about to tell me? Is he about to go on TED Talk or something like that? Now, you might remember this piece of artwork. This render was for, what was it, for the 25th anniversary render, where they just kind of made this stock art render of Sonic running towards the screen with and then they paired it with the Generations Classic Sonic and then the random boom artwork that was already like pre-existing. This definitely screams quality. And to top off all of our stock arts, there's this one. This one's really old. Like, I've seen it, I remember seeing it like long ago. It's so old, and I personally think it has a little bit more flair in its pose and stuff like that, so it's gonna go above this other stock art that I didn't really care too much for. Now, we do have a couple extras that I threw in for the funsies. We have this render of Sonic. Specifically, he got his own new render for the Year of Shadow. Why is it so good? Like, why is Sonic here looking so good in a Year of Shadow promotional stock art. Like I mean, yeah, this is technically stock art. This is like promotional art for the Year of Shadow. It's climbing the ranks. It's going all the way over here. Now you might remember this render for the Sonic X Shadow Generations trailer. I don't know if this render has been used anywhere else before the Sonic X Shadow Generations trailer. Honestly, I really like the pose. There's not many back shots. There's no way I just said that. Like back facing angles in Sonic renders, usually that's safe for Shadow or something like that. And the pose fits Sonic like perfectly. The pose with Sonic's finger pointing down, almost like how he does with in Adventure 2 artwork. I'm gonna put it above the this promotional art in All Stars Racing. Now this one probably shouldn't be considered, but I took a screen cap of the Adventure Sonic Legacy skin render. I just really like it. I just really like that we're actually getting an Adventure Sonic skin, and technically it's doing its Adventure Sonic pose, so technically it's a render. It's going in saucy goodness, because like, look at it, it's freaking saucy. And me personally, I think I saved the best two for last, because Sonic himself got two brand new renders for Sonic X Shadow Generations, and they both look phenomenal. They're both going in saucy goodness for sure, but I just can't get over how god tier the Japan box art for Sonic X Shadow Generations looks. Like, the renders look so good, and they're basically doing the Sonic Adventure 2 battle logo with the character models instead. But Sonic's render here looks fucking gorgeous. It's actually going out the top. Like, I don't know what to tell you. As for this promotional artwork for Sonic X Shadow Generations, I'm gonna put it right next to this Frontiers artwork. It is really damn good, and I guess I'm disproving the question I set up at the beginning of the video, because they still know how to make good renders. They still know how to make really clean, detailed, and styled renders with the current Sonic model that we know for like the past couple of years, or like tens of years or so. So I guess this is the final Sonic render tier list. We have the Sonic X Shadow Generations Japanese render at the very top of being a saucy boy, and then the worst one, apparently according to me, is the infamous 2022 birthday render right next to Boom Sonic, which is pretty appropriate. But hey, if there's anything that we've learned from this entire endeavor, don't give me an hour and a half of free time to just waste talking about how saucy-licious Sonic is. I really need to work on how I word things.